Okay, guys, so Alison Owen back again with Uncharted Alabama. I'm going to say this is probably the coolest episode. No offense to anybody else that's been before or is going to come after. This is going to be a special Mother's Day episode. I have the one and only, my mother, Kelly Owen, in the episode today. Woo! Right?
Yeah, this is kind of out of my league, being behind the microphone,
I think that's what's so cool about it, though, Mom.
But I'm old now, and things matter to everybody. They all want to know the stories.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things that people say is, how did y'all end up normal? I say, well, my mom was home with us.
Yes.
There has to be a base.
Yes. And after 51 years of marriage, it worked. We had nothing basically, but we had each other's hearts, and my goal was to be a wife and a mother, and his goal was to try to make it in the music business. Mm-hmm. And so I let him do what he was best at, and I did what I knew I would be best at. And it worked.
So for everybody out there that maybe doesn't really know a whole lot of your story, where you came from and meeting Dad and all that, just give us a little brief. And then also I think your upbringing prepared you in a lot of ways for being a mother,
yes,
a wife, and right, being able to handle anything. So right, go ahead and tell us.
So I was born in Augusta, Georgia. My dad in the Army, and my mom a housewife. I was probably the most domesticated one in the family. I was second of six. I was raised pretty much in a household where everything would be norm. And then all of a sudden my dad would get orders and we would have to uplift where we are in the middle of school, move thousands of miles away, plant there. You have to adjust there, make new friends, and live life. There wasn't time to sulk and cry. So I wasn't raised in a lot of drama. And I love the military life because it taught me no matter where I was, I could balance things out to make everything work. And then we'd move to North Carolina, and then he'd be stationed back at Fort Gordon in Augusta, Georgia. And my great aunt lived across the street from James Brown, give me some James Brown. I should plug it in on my
Mom is a little, Mom's heart is a little more on that R&B soul side of music. Yeah.
So we would go to my great aunt's house, and James Brown, they had this big gate, and we would go up, and we never climbed on it, but we would just hold it and look, just hoping we could see movement of some kind or be able to throw my hand up, not knowing that later in my life, this is what people would be doing at my front gate. So I understand when people come to our house. I don't take offense. I understand because I've been there and I've done that. And I guess one of the greatest things about being raised military like I was is not everybody's alike. Doesn't matter where you're from, whatever difference, you learn to get along. And in the music business, you meet normal people, you meet semi-normal people, and then you meet
crazy people.
And
we're not talking about fans, we're talking about people in the music business.
So, but anyway, God has a plan. I mean, he knew that your dad, being raised in a small town, had to marry somebody like me that could pick up and move, could get along with people. I can talk to fence posts if I have to. If I'm lonesome, I'm just standing there. There's never time for boredom.
You find a way to cope or to entertain yourself.
Yes. And so by your dad marrying me, when we first got married, when he said, hey, before you were born, hey, we have to move to Illinois for 3 months. I just packed up the Camaro.
Yeah.
Threw some canned goods, the ironing board, and our clothes. And I had to have my ironing board because I love to iron.
She loves to do laundry. Again, not the gene that I inherited from my mom.
First year we were married, I was 17. and they played the red carpet in, and all of them had to wear matching polyester leisure suits. The pockets were like this big on the front. I'm like, and the collars, you know, and then the polyester flower shirts,
which was
matched.
not their style at all. It was just they were like forced to do it. Yeah.
So, but anyway, you know, Dad was out and singing, and then I was in the room, and he came back in with that yellow pad of paper, and he just started writing, and he wrote "Lay It Down on Love." That was a magical. That's where you realize people are gifted, to where they can take a situation or see a situation and go put it on paper and put music to it, and it be a #1 song. When I met your dad, should I say your dad or should I just say Randy?
You say my dad.
Okay,
yes,
that is your father.
Is he? No.
Yeah. I know.
Are you trying to tell me something? Do I call him your father or do I not? I don't know.
I knew
Mom.
with
No,
the interview, I didn't know if
I no, you're
seeing
good.
it,
But that makes it funny.
they would know when I say your father talking about Randy.
Yes, no, you're good. You can say your dad, yeah.
So when I met your dad at Myrtle Beach, and my dad had already been stationed in Heidelberg, Germany, so I was leaving within a few months. So your dad, after they finished at the Bowery, he would come to Columbia, South Carolina, where my dad had been stationed, and we were waiting to move to Heidelberg, waiting for housing. And so Dad would come up on the weekends, and he brought his guitar. And we were just renting an apartment till we got housing in Germany. And so he sat down, he said, I want to play you a song that I wrote. Now, this is way before Lay It Down on Love. So,
Yeah.
You know, here he is, I'm learning he's a songwriter.
Yeah.
And plays the guitar. I already knew by watching him at the Bowery, his voice, and it was just,
There was something there.
There was something there. So he starts strumming on this guitar, and he sings "Feels So Right to Me." Now, it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't written.
It was written
about
right.
me.
It was written before, but you were just like, okay, yeah.
My eyes just welled up, and I told him, I said, I don't know what's going to happen with you in your life, and I don't know if I'll ever see you again. But I hope that is a monster song for you. So I hope that happens, because that is one of the most beautiful songs that could ever be written about someone that you love. And
what did Dad say? Because Dad's a man of few words sometimes.
Yeah, he did. He just said,
like,
I think he said thank you.
Yeah.
You know. But now,
yeah,
the words "Feel So Right" are above the gate at our home, because that song built our house.
Yeah. Changed our life.
Yeah, it changed our life. The song changed our life. And he, you know, everybody, when he performs it, they'll come up and say, oh, that's so beautiful. He wrote that song about you. And I'm like, no, that wasn't about me. And it doesn't matter that it wasn't about me.
I want to go ahead and go into Goodbye.
Yes.
Was written. It says Kelly's song.
Yeah.
It's on the Pass It On Down album, 1990. Go check it out. I want you to tell them what that means to you, and how it's Kelly's song and not just a song about love or whatever, because you told me, you know, growing up, it's like you had to say goodbye being in the military all the time to so many different people.
All the time. My mom was there with us 6 kids getting ready to go to Germany, and my dad had already gone. Before he left that last time from the apartment, he told my mother that he wanted to marry me. He said, I would love to marry Kelly. And my mom said, well, we're leaving for Europe. And she kind of gets tired of guys pretty quick. I mean, she kind of, you know, not with this one. So she's like, we'll just see how it's going to work out. So moving forward, we moved to Germany, and I wrote letters. I used to babysit for other people and get my money and buy my 6-cent stamps and write Dad letters. And to call back then was very expensive. So it was all correspondence. And he was still playing Holiday Inns and working red carpet inns.
Yeah.
And
different phone number. Like, you're just all over the place. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So this is when my friends got the money up, because they knew how much that he and I were in love. Mm-hmm. And they wanted me to come back home for the summer while he was at the Bowery. So they bought my ticket, and I still have the little ticket voucher up on the 3rd floor at our house. And I flew home, but nobody told him. So he was working in the Bowery, and I walked in, and the drummer in the Bowery, Bennett Vartanian back then, he's like, "Hey, Randy, we'll take a little break right now. Kelly's here." And of course, when he first met me, my hair was kind of maybe the length like now, but then I had it cut. I changed a lot. My hair was cut really short. Anyway, I think he actually looked around the room to see if I was really in there.
And didn't see you the first time with your hair.
And so anyway, so we got together again, and we spent the week. I was up there with our friends and chaperones, and we spent the week. We go listen to him at the Bowery, and then we go out to eat and all. Yeah. But he took me back to Charleston to fly back to Germany. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know that he had written this song, but he wrote the song as if I were the one saying. Because when you listen to it, everybody thinks he's singing it to me, but really he wrote it as if I'm saying this to him. Mm-hmm. Goodbye, goodbye, till I see you again. You know, I'll love and miss you till then. And it's okay to cry. But when you listen to the words, it is just, again, it's such a magical song. And I would have never thought of writing a song coming from the other person's perspective. And so when I listen to it, I'm like, you know, you leave the best you've had, and I felt like this is going to work. This is going to work. I know it's going to work. So that's how the song "Goodbye" was when he left me in Charleston, and I got on the plane and flew back to Frankfurt, Germany. And little did I know that it would all work, that I would come back, and I was still in love. And that's probably one, and you don't hear that song a lot, though it means so much to him because he has sung it even at a couple of his best friends' funerals, because the whole meaning of the song is saying goodbye. That's a hard word to say because you don't know if in some cases you know you're not going to see the person again, but in some cases you're not sure when you say goodbye if you will see them.
Yeah. Dad had to sing that, or was asked, it was an honor to be asked, but was asked to sing that at Dale Earnhart's service.
He sang Goodbye and he sang Angels Among Us. But I sat there and it was an intervention that happened with him because Dale was
one of the few people that Dad
connected to.
Yeah.
And they understood one another.
Yeah.
Different walk, you know, he raced, your dad does music, but they had that what really counted in their heart and their soul towards one another. And and when he lost Dale, it was I saw a part of him lost.
But that song in particular was one that was when y'all first met. It wasn't something he wrote for you in 1990 and said, "How I love you, here's this song." It was from a place of don't know if I'm going to marry you. Yeah. Don't know if you're going to still love me when you get back.
Right.
Don't know if I'm going to make it in the music business. I don't know anything about anything except I wrote this song.
This is how I feel, and I think you feel about me.
Yeah.
But anyway, I did. So I went back. I was a junior in high school, and my goal was to graduate from high school. I did want my high school degree. I went to Darmstadt College my senior year, and I just took business courses. I had 22 credits going into my senior year, which back then I think you only had to have 19. So I had to take my senior year of English and history in order to finish my senior year out. So I had to go meet with the principal and ask if I could graduate early. Since I already had my credits, I already had my classes under my belt, I was done basically. And he said yes. I graduated that fall of 74. My older sister and I, we flew into Atlanta. And my life began. I had a wonderful life, and then when I stepped off that airplane, man, did it change for all of the blessings I could have ever dreamed of having in life.
We're going to take just a quick break real quick, and we're going to talk to sponsors, hear from our sponsors.
Good.
So we'll do that. And then, yes.
I didn't want to wipe snot on my jacket. I just need a little Kleenex. I didn't want to do that and wipe. I don't do that.
We'll get you some Kleenex. Hey, Kleenex, if you're listening out there, we would love you to sponsor the show. For anyone crying or little snotty, So, yep. So we're going to take a real quick break, and we'll be right back after we hear from our sponsors. And now we want to send out a huge Uncharted Alabama thank you to our sponsor, Gibson Guitars. Thank you guys for helping us keep the lights on. Okay, we are back now with more stories from my sweet mama. Kelly Owen is our guest today, and just so excited. First of all, I want to say thanks for coming. I know you're my mom, but y'all are traveling, Dad's touring. I appreciate you coming and doing this.
This is great, because this isn't the norm for me, as you well know.
Yeah.
But it's great. I mean, it's like I said, I'm older now, and it's kind of fun to tell the story.
Let's go back to where we left off. You just gotten back to the States. Did Dad actually propose to you, or was it just, did y'all just write letters and go, we're going to get married?
It wasn't any of this, we're engaged for 4 years. No, it was understood.
Okay.
So February 11th, we drove to Trenton, Georgia. Mm-hmm. We go down, he drives down to Fort Payne at Martin's Jewelers. So we went down and we picked out, it's a 3-ring set, his ring, the engagement ring, and then the wedding for me.
The set.
Okay, get this. $199.99 was the cost of our rings. I paid half. And he paid the other.
Oh, my gosh. So you paid half?
Oh, I was just so nervous. Yeah, we looked in the cabinet and the counter and looked, and we picked them out. And so when we walked out on the sidewalk, he got the engagement ring, and he put it on my finger. And I thought I was going to pass out.
Right.
I just got so overwhelmed. So anyway, we did that, and then I still have the receipt for our wedding rings. We still have the wedding rings. So we run up to Trenton, Georgia, and with me being under 18, mm-hmm. I was underage to get married. So my dad had already written a letter to his commander and had it approved that I could come back to the States and get married. So it's kind of an ordeal. Yeah, so I've got my little letter.
Yeah.
And Randy's mother was in the car, and in the back seat, and it was February 11th, and back then it was spitting snow and cold. And we said, Granny, we're going to run in and find out what we need to do, and then we'll come back in and get you, like the witness. We go in the courthouse, and just, oh, Lord, I can still feel my hands shaking, just so nervous. And we go in, and there's a Judge Gray, and your dad tells him, he said, we're here to get married, and this is a letter from her father because she's underage. So Judge Gray reads it. Well, before we could go get his mama out of the car, Judge Gray says, will you face one another? And he does the vows, and Dad's got the ring, and we're married, and Granny's out there sitting in the car. And so we come. So he gives us our marriage license, and we go back out, and she's like, well, son, and do you need me to, am I going to come in? And he's like, Mama, we're already married. But it happened so fast.
Right.
So you're married. We go back home, drop Granny off. We took off, went down to Montgomery, Alabama, mm-hmm. Stayed at a Motel 6.
Yes. Leave the light on for you. Hey, Motel 6, would you like to sponsor our show? We got a great love story that started at a Motel 6.
There were times.
Or marriage that started at a Motel 6.
I wanted to approach them because that would have been so cool. I was under 18, so it didn't cost him anything. So if you were 18 and under, you got to stay in hotels free. So I didn't cost him anything.
The story just keeps getting better and better. Yeah.
So we got married, and we checked in the motel, and we went to Burger King.
Burger King, if you'd like to be a sponsor, we're here ready to talk to you. We got a great story to back it up. Go into where y'all lived, because y'all were living with Granny and Pawpaw.
We lived with Granny and Pawpaw, and we went on down to Panama City.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about that.
they call them snowbirds, all the
Yes.
Canadian people.
Probably
But anyway,
just
we
drove.
were the youngest ones there. Everybody was playing shuffleboard. And we got married on Monday. We had to be back by Thursday because he had to go work at the Holiday Inn. So again, from the very start, everything had to be scheduled around him going to work.
Right.
So
yes.
we stayed down there and then came back, and I stayed with Granny and Pawpaw while he would go
Right.
go off on the road because I didn't know anybody in Fort Payne.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to just leave me in an apartment
Well, yeah.
somewhere by myself. So for two people that had each other's hearts and the love, we didn't have a whole lot else in common.
Yeah.
I wasn't a farm girl and he
Right.
wasn't used to military.
Right.
So it's kind of the two joined together. And like we were talking last night, God knew that this unity was going to make it work.
Yep. So you lived with Granny and Pawpaw.
We lived at Granny Pawpaw.
But then y'all lived in an apartment.
Yeah,
in
we
Fort Payne
we
for
bought
a
a
little
little
while?
apartment down in Fort Payne. And
And then we're back and forth to Myrtle Beach.
we're back and forth to Myrtle Beach, and then
Yeah.
we went to Illinois
Yeah.
for a few months. And
But that was all before I was born.
yeah, that was before you
Yeah.
were born. So we get down to Myrtle Beach, and we lived there the first year. I was 17. Then we traveled a little bit, left there, traveled to Illinois, and then I stayed home. He traveled. And then 18, we moved back down to Myrtle Beach, and that's when I found out I was pregnant with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I had Allison the first when I was 19.
Right. And then 10 days later,
And then
turned
10
20.
days later, I turned 20.
And that's how we know. I'm always like, you're 20 years
I'm
older
20.
than
That's
I am.
how I can
Yep.
keep up.
Yeah, it's like,
you
oh,
are
how old?
and me.
Yeah.
It was such a deep love
Yeah.
that I had for your dad. And
Yeah.
then when you were born, and then you were about 2, I guess 2.5. I was pregnant again, and then I had a miscarriage.
Right.
And then I got pregnant and had Heath. So you and Heath grew up in the little brown house.
Yes. And then when brother was born, Dad
He was born in 81.
But they were, yes, tell that story real quick.
Okay, Randy's home all week. And
Yeah.
it's like, I've got to go to Nashville because we're getting an award for our first gold album on Friday, June the 12th. Have it any day but Friday because I will be gone. So when does my water break?
Yeah.
1 o'clock Friday morning.
Yeah.
And Heath was backwards.
Yes.
But
Breach.
He was breech. My water broke at 1 and he was born at 4:30 that morning. But I had him by myself. And, I hear women talk about, oh, my husband, he's going to be there and do.
Yeah.
It's, what is he going to do but stand there and look? You do all the work.
At the end of the day, it's just you. Yeah.
you know what?
Really, truly.
I felt like, yes, I did that.
Yeah.
I could do that on my own
Yeah.
with God's help.
Yes.
I did that on my own. And when Dad got home, look what I had to show.
Yeah.
Present to him.
You pushed a breech
Yeah.
child
Yeah.
out.
He had black hair,
remember
and then
you
when he
telling
did
me.
his little face, he had little dimples like
Yep.
your dad. So
Yep.
anyway, I got on the rotary phone. It wasn't even
Yeah.
a push button.
Yeah.
And I called and I said, you have a beautiful little baby boy, and he looks just like
Yeah.
you.
So in the note of all of that, one of the other songs, we're talking about the different levels, when y'all met and then all this stuff, becoming a mom, you mentioned that Carolina Mountain Dew is another one of your, and it's
Yeah,
Dew
that was
spelled
kind of-
Dewe.
That was kind of a surprise because I didn't really know. I didn't know. He didn't go, okay, I'm going to write a song about you today.
So that song, do you remember kind of like when you first heard of that song? Because it's on the Roll On album, which was
I'm thinking,
84.
I'm thinking he wrote that. I don't know if he didn't have it written before you were born.
I kind of wondered that, yeah.
And then, when he got time and all, then he put everything together, and then they put it out.
Or maybe wrote it and then even added a verse about
Yeah.
with a baby, that part of it. But
Yeah.
I've always loved that song. I've always thought it was just a neat love song. It's got really
an
neat
older-
chord, but even the little chord changes in it or kind of catch you off guard. And it's just really neat, the harmonies.
I love it where it says, and sometimes late that night,
Yeah.
the lonely wakes her gently.
Yes.
And, there were a lot of times that you kids would be asleep, and I'd be sitting there watching TV or laying there, and
Yeah.
you're lonely, but I never let the lonely capture me because I had the responsibility of y'all. I had the responsibility of taking care of a home.
Yeah.
And everything being in place when your dad got there. So everybody gets lonely, but the lonely didn't consume me. That's not what I lived. It was just a feeling.
Right.
Whether you're happy or lonely or whatever. There's you balance and you move on. You don't dwell in the drama and what I what I want to do or what I need to be doing, or you just it's a strength. It's hard to describe. It's a strength. And it's a military strength, and it's a God strength, because I think God knew my heart when I was little. That's what me and my friends were talking about. He knew the kind of person that I was going to be. Yeah. And
a wimpy person would have never made it. It would not have worked. So moving, like we're kind of progressing as we're talking about the music. We're kind of progressing through and talking about mom stuff with us being born. Yeah. So Randa's born in 88.
Yes.
August 23rd, 88. 90 is, so around when Randa's little, right after she's born, is the third song that you kind of wanted to mention and talk about today. It was on the Greatest Hits 2 album in 1990, and it's called
Hats Off
to Hard Riding Cowboys. Is sort of the little side.
And your dad, I'm trying to think where he sang that. He may have sung that at one of the songwriter shows or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But that is, he wrote that back, it was about the time when Reba McEntire's band was killed in the airplane
It was right
crash.
after.
Right after.
Yep, right after
But
that.
the whole song is a tribute to all of the great singers and songwriters and artists from way back when, and the way he put those words together.
Yeah.
And it's his life too. I mean, it is the life of anybody that's been in the business.
Who's come before.
Who's come before and who
it's
are now.
It's listed as Dad, Teddy, Greg, and Ronnie Rogers. Yeah. And Ronnie, Ronnie, I want to talk to Ronnie too, because Ronnie I think he's written or co-written just about as many Alabama songs, and such a great family friend. But I imagine them all just sitting writing that together,
And it just, every time I hear it, it just makes me cry inside, because it's a great song, but nobody, I don't think, record labels, they just didn't really pay attention to the whole depth of the song. And
we were talking about Hats Off for Hard Riding Cowboys. 1990 was, we already kind of said it a little bit, but kind of picking back up.
Throughout the years, of course, I'll pull up your dad's albums and I go, I forgot about that song. There's so many that are like that. Yeah. Everybody wants to hear the hits.
Yes.
But if you grab each one of their albums or CDs, whatever they're called now, and go down the list and play the ones that you're not familiar with. Yeah. They're awesome. I mean, they could have had 200 number ones.
Well, it grabs you, and they're so different sounding. I think that's one of the biggest things, is a lot of it's just the music. It just sounds different. Mm-hmm. And I know right before we went to the break, you were talking about going to have a party too.
Yeah.
And Mark Wells had mentioned that one, and it sounds like a party.
Yeah.
And
our household. Yeah. I'm kind of like having a party, whether I'm ironing or cooking or whatever. I like music like that.
Yeah.
And it's a happy song.
Yeah.
And the really cool thing is, though, when you're married to a songwriter, you're not looking over the shoulder as they're writing these songs down, but you see them getting in their zone and writing, in the list and the stacks of paper and the songs. And you think they're in their zone, and then you hear them go cut it.
I want everybody to know what you've been up to lately, which is you, Kelly, and Megan Owen.
Oh,
you guys, you've been songwriting.
I was standing at the kitchen sink one day, and I always traveling like we have, and friends and meeting people and watching TV and people. They would start crying, and they'd say, I'm sorry, stop, or cut. And I've always thought, it's okay to cry. You don't have to give an excuse, reason, or... And so that thought just kept coming in my head.
That was first. That was kind of the first one that you're like, I'm going to write a song. Yeah.
And so it wasn't like, okay, I'm going to write a song. But it just kept coming, and I would see it. And so I sat down. I wrote down all of the lines, the feel. I got with Megan. She's a maestro. She's a genius. She and I got together, and I've known Megan for, I guess,
it's been I'll tell you,
16 years.
The first time I ever met her was when Dad worked on Nashville Star, which was 2006.
Yeah. And she traveled with your dad when he went out on his own for a little bit. And so Dad would go to bed in the back of the bus, and Megan and I, and we'd put Randy to bed, and we'd go up front. She'd have a little guitar, and we'd shut the door.
Because she can play like 175 different instruments.
She can play anything.
Yeah.
And knows every song.
Yeah.
And she'd sing, and then I'd harmonize with her, and it really sounded cool.
Yeah.
And so that was our entertainment after each show every night.
You have an album.
We have an album.
Yeah.
We have 9 songs.
Yeah.
So we finally put them on a CD.
Yeah.
You know, we're both BMI writers.
Yeah. You know, the songs on the album, it's Megan's a mom, but she's at a different part in her life.
Right.
And she's been through things, and you've been through things. So I think that's the neatest part about
I've already
the music
been through things
out.
that I know she's going to be going through.
Right, absolutely. But y'all's songs are, it kind of pulls on all the different things, various different stages of life.
Yeah, it's not about anybody in particular.
Yeah, and relationships.
It's relationships and situations.
There were some funny stories from the road, which we could probably do a whole other episode of just road stories. Yeah. We have another mama. That's one of the things that's so endearing about her. We're talking about Leanne Morgan.
Yes.
One of our favorite people in the world for a million different reasons, but she's a mama and a wife, and that's what she talks about.
Yeah.
That she talks about being that.
It's
and
every day.
That's
every day.
What it is.
Yeah.
But she opened a show. This has been a few years ago. It was the first arena show, is what she told me, that she had ever opened, like in a big arena. And then you met her afterwards.
Oh, y'all, I just opened for Alabama in Florence, South Carolina. It's the first time I've ever done a big arena, and it was so fun. My heart is beating out of my body. Everybody's been so precious here and so sweet. I got to meet one of the guys in Alabama before the show, and he was precious. And I hope I get to meet the other ones. But anyway, thank you for all the people. I had people yelling for me. So thank you for the ones who came to see me. I know y'all are excited to see Alabama, and it's not because of me, but that's okay. I am thrilled to be a part of it. And it was thrilling. It was thrilling. And I made it through it. And I am going to take this girdle off. And I'm going to go watch Alabama. Honey, thank you for all the people that were precious to me. Okay, I know I'm repeating myself. It was special. Okay. All right.
So as you guys can see, Leanne Morgan being a mama and a wife and telling her stories and all that, she and my mom are kindred spirits in their senses of humor.
Every day I have a Leanne moment, and I'll text her. I said, you have to talk about this on stage.
Yeah. So the first night when a few years ago, and Leanne opened for Alabama.
Yeah, and she came back and we met, and we were like comedy sisters.
So Mother's Day episode, greatest mom ever. I love you so much, and I'm proud. I'm just so proud of what you're doing now in life and where you are, and the things that you have been able to do on your own.
And you've seen it.
And I've seen it. I've seen that.
And you've seen it.
But what is your advice? What is the quality that would be the most important for success in a relationship?
Is the understanding of what you want in life. Mm-hmm. What is it that, what road are you wanting to go down?
Yeah.
And to be able to understand that with your wife or husband, whoever, and there be a balance there. So your dad was in the music business. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to be in the music business. I had my goals.
Right.
So I think really
Yeah.
women you need your own goals. You're a person.
Yep.
Just because I'm married to Randy doesn't mean I'm not myself. I am myself. And from early on, I had something in life that I wanted to accomplish, and I wanted to show God that I could be a mom and I could be a great wife.
Yeah.
And now I'm a great Mimi. I got my little Mimi necklace on
That's
here.
right. You're still a great wife and a great mom, but you're Mimi. Yeah.
You have to me, to have the understanding of the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
And you can't break down halfway through and go, well, you have to learn how to share.
Yeah.
I've had to share your dad with
absolutely.
the world.
Yeah. And we have too as kids.
Kids.
Yeah.
And I helped y'all understand that.
Right.
I never, ever used your dad's profession against him.
Yeah.
Or was I ever negative to y'all?
No, pitiful me. No,
It's your birthday.
Yeah.
Well, your daddy's not home. You're the mama.
Yeah.
And you're in charge.
Yeah.
So I raised and instilled
Yes.
those kind of feelings, because that's the way life is.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to be able to celebrate your birthday every birthday.
Everything's not
every
going to be perfect.
You're not going to get everything you always wanted for Christmas.
You may not have the pony or the ribbon on your cake that you wanted, but you still got a cake and everything's fine. And
So it is so important, women, girls, that when you start having babies, that you and God and your husband, of course, created this child, and that you are the one that is pretty much going to set and create emotions, reactions for that small little person. Yeah. And you want them that when they get adults, teenage adults, that they can handle adversity.
Yeah.
I've raised 3 children that I know how to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
They know how to treat other people, and they love Jesus, baby Jesus, and they love God, and they better hope they work towards getting to heaven to see me and their daddy.
Yep, absolutely.
If you go beyond that, if you start thinking beyond your children, you better reel yourself back in, because that is such an important job, and you can't give up on it.
Yeah.
Even when y'all are grown, there may be,
so like, I need to tell you something or talk to you.
Exactly.
We've always seen you and Dad, you always talk to everyone. You always treat everybody the same.
A good rule, too, is do to others as you would have done. So in the music business, you meet people, all genres of music, and not everybody agrees, and we're not all on the same page.
Right.
But there should be a common balance there to where you're a good person. Put your feelings aside. And that's a big part, too, of being married to somebody in the music business. Not that your feelings don't count, but trying to find the right moment to show your feelings.
Yeah.
You just have
a
to,
moment.
You just have to suck it up. What a gift. I mean, my friends that know they're mothers.
Yeah.
It's a job, but it's so rewarding when you get older.
Yeah.
To look at your children, because they're a reflection of what I've taught them.
Yeah. Well, what about this? What about the difference between me, Heath, and Randa as far as like the point in life that you were in? Is there anything you remember thinking? Because, Randa, 88, it was like, that was a much different, like Dad had already like.
Okay, so so you came along, we had nothing.
Yeah. Life
was simple. And Heath, and you were a big help. I mean, we still didn't really have anything. And I had a little axe, and I was just trimming off a pine knot just to take in the house, just to keep the fire going in there. And these 2 cars pulled up in the driveway, and I told the kids, I said, y'all go on. I didn't know, because I didn't really know anybody.
I remember this, yeah.
And I'm like, y'all go on back over there. And they get out and they go, is this where Randy Owen lives? And it hit me then, because things had just started happening. And I said, yes, it is. I said, I'm his wife, Kelly. And that squatting down, trimming pine knots is when I realized that my life was fixing to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then 7.5 years later,
Yeah.
Randa comes along, and she's the baby.
Yeah.
I mean, she's my baby who I almost lost her. She was born with pneumonia.
Yeah. Double pneumonia.
And so that was something we had to get through, but totally 3 different personalities.
Yeah.
So I had the older 2, and now I have a baby.
Yeah.
And so she was my little baby. And Randy would be gone. They had their stuff in high school sports. I mean, I went to track meets, basketball, baseball, football.
Poor Randa, who's also a mom now, but she got dragged to everything.
She got drugged to everything, and she really doesn't care about sports. I mean, she'll watch them, but
we traumatized our poor baby sister, and I laugh, but I understand. But in being a mom, what is the most fun thing about being a mom?
To me, it's watching what you, your spouse, and God created. Watching what they're becoming, watching them grow, watching the personality, just watching the creation.
Okay, guys. Well, I mean, obviously, my mama, I could talk to her all day long, and we'll probably do another episode at some point about something specific.
A lot of things in my life.
A lot of things that we can still unpack and talk about.
I think people would really gain strength from, because they would never realize things like that happened to us and our family.
No.
It's just life.
Yes.
But you move on and...
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I firmly believe we're going to be doing more episodes. Want to thank everybody for listening. Keep listening. Find us wherever you listen to podcasts, and be sure and check out the playlist where we put the music that we've talked about. And I'm just going to encourage you guys, that was another episode of Uncharted Alabama. Keep your eyes on the road, keep your heart in the music, and roll on.